Hello fellow Shadows, welcome to another video. And guess what the title is going to be what the subject is going to be by the title. I covered this subject when on my own channel, like after I heard it from SC Reviews and Geeks and Gamers. So if you also want to, like it kind of like someone else's take as well as my take on this whole situation, I highly suggest going to those two YouTube channels as well, because they're pretty decent at covering this type of stuff as well. So yeah, George Lucas, it's been like now it's public knowledge that George Lucas is displeased with how Disney has been handling Star Wars and the direction Star Wars has been going in. And here's one reason why, because George Lucas said that in the article it says that George Lucas made some drafts for the sequel trilogy, thinking that Disney was going to go along with the drafts for the sequel trilogy. Ended up they didn't, and he kind of feels betrayed for them not going along with them. Partially because they led him on. They led him on into thinking that Disney, was going to take Star Wars in the direction he had envisioned. And truthfully, even though this probably won't make it much better, but yeah, Bob Iger should have told him up front, yeah, we're not gonna go that way. We're gonna go our own route. I mean, that would have been the more responsible thing to do than leading somebody on. But regardless, I can see, regardless if they told him or not, I can see why George Lucas felt betrayed. I mean, that's his baby. That's his creation. He created Star Wars. He founded Lucasfilms, and Disney's essentially running that down to the ground. I've heard that it took his wife to convince George Lucas to go to the premiere of The Force Awakens, which is sad. Granted that I enjoyed The Force Awakens, but it's still sad. And out of the 4 Disney Star Wars movies that we've got so far that's been in theaters and is currently out on DVD, which at the moment does not include Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One feels to me like the most Star Wars like out of the 4 Star Wars movies. Then comes The Force Awakens, then comes Solo Star Wars Story, barely on top of The Last Jedi. And truthfully, as far as I'm aware, George Lucas' thing was only to the sequel trilogy. He didn't really pay much mind to the standalone movies, but regardless, I can see how he feels, because, like I said, they're running what he's made down into the ground by focusing more on gender and political statements more than storytelling. Yes, the prequels, more so the originals, has more of a political twist to it, but George Lucas tried to balance that out, or have more of a story aspect than political. I mean, he made Princess Leia, he made Padme Amidala, and Dave Filoni, which was pretty much George Lucas's apprentice, made Ahsoka Tano. Those 3 characters, 2 of those characters were made by the man who created Star Wars. One of those was pretty much his apprentice. Not all of them were beloved at first. I'm referring to Ahsoka, but in time, as we watched the Clone Wars, Ahsoka became one of the most beloved characters. And when I saw her leave the Jedi after getting expelled and having the offer to come back into the Jedi Order, and she refusing, that heart broke my heart because at the time, as far as I was aware, and this was before season 7 was even announced, we wouldn't be able to get Ahsoka back in this. We wouldn't be able to see Ahsoka again. That was my mindset when I first saw the episode when it was new. Like, are we going to see Ahsoka again? I hope we do, but I doubt it. Thankfully, we currently see Ahsoka again in season 7 of the Clone Wars. But my point is, Disney is so focused on female-led uh, uh, stories that also kind of dampens their ability a bit to tell stories. Was nothing wrong with female-led movie. I could care less what gender or race the main character is, as long as the story is great. Now, granted, like I said, The Force Awakens, I enjoyed. It might not have been the best Star Wars movie, but it was a great starter-up movie, in my opinion. And Rogue One, like I said, even though it was about Jyn Erso, Felicity Jones' character, that was still a pretty good movie, and that is my favorite Star Wars movie out of the 4 Star Wars movies that we've got within the last 5 years, or since 2015, which we got like 4. And I feel like with The Last Jedi, they should have, if they were going to do George Lucas' focus with The Force Awakens and ignore what his overall story was going to be, I feel like they could have, with The Last Jedi, could have had some elements from the original draft for the sequel trilogy to be in, like, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and that would have most likely made The Last Jedi better than it is. And it's sad that the man himself who created Star Wars and Lucasfilms, who was nice enough to sell his company to one of the biggest companies ever. One, because he wanted his pretty much Star Wars and Indiana Jones to live on past him being George Lucas, and 2, because he, out of the kindness of his heart, he was thinking more of fans, which Rian Johnson wasn't thinking of when he made The Last Jedi. I mean, there's video evidence online proving my statement right there. George Lucas was nice enough, kind enough to sell his company, to give his company to Disney. And this is how they decided to treat him. Going around and pretty much giving him a big slap in the face, practically. I mean, it might not be physical, but a hypothetical slap to the face, like, we're not gonna do that overall plan that you had for the sequel trilogy. We're gonna do this to you, and we're gonna make our own, totally botched Star Wars. Put identity politics in this. Screw what came before. Screw what you want us to do that would mostly be beneficial to us as a company. Of course, they could easily make their own personal tweaks to it to make it somewhat original, where it's still based on the sequel trilogy outline that George Lucas made, but kind of switch like 1 or 2 things around. That way, they can have the best of both worlds. But point being, they done George Lucas dirty. They disrespected George Lucas by pretty much hypothetically slapping him in the face, leading him on, thinking that they were going to go with the plan that he wanted, when they weren't. And I've heard that Bob Iger was the CEO of Disney, and like the contract was trying to get George Lucas to not criticize any of the Star Wars movies in the future, but like this was when he was signing over the rights of Lucasfilms to Disney, and that's like wrong on so many levels. I can kind of get with the actors when they are in the process of making the movie. I can kind of see that because you don't want the actors to hurt the box office movies, like the box office for the movie that they're in. But Josh Lucas is not an actor. He and besides, trying to put that on him is wrong on its own right. And some fans were criticizing The Force Awakens. They were on this boat where they first saw was where Star Wars was heading, which was in the deep end, if you want to say, from The Force Awakens. And like I said, I enjoyed The Force Awakens. I enjoyed Rogue One. And I'm going to say this up front right now. I might criticize The Last Jedi a lot. I do like some, and I do stress some aspects of The Last Jedi. Not most of it to say, oh, I really enjoyed the movie, but I enjoyed some aspects of The Last Jedi. Same with Solo, but a bit more with Solo than with The Last Jedi. But it's one thing to that the fans who has been fans of this saga for 40 years about since it came out in 1977. But to have one of the actors comes in and actually criticize the direction also is a level on its own. That's a sign of that saying something. And Mark Hamill and George Lucas, for the most part, as far as I'm aware, are on the same page when it comes to Star Wars. So Mark Hamill was speaking out against his distaste of how Disney's been treating Star Wars. Then yeah, it could have been a sign that George Lucas felt the same way. And since it was announced yesterday that George Lucas feels betrayed and on how Disney chose to take Star Wars and how he doesn't really like the new Star Wars, then that's even saying something even more. That's literally a class in its own. He's the one who made Star Wars practically 40 years ago. Gave you 7 movies. One of them was trash. Well, I shouldn't say he gave you, because the holiday special was someone else made it, but George Lucas, I've heard, destroyed every single copy of the garbage holiday special. But still, and he gave you 6 Star Wars movies on the plate. You had 8 Star Wars movies in total. The prequels, the sequels, the prequels, the originals, the holiday special, and the Clone Wars. And he gave it to you. Go one with Fox, which ended up Fox is now Disney, or Sony, which is not Disney, and he could have given it to either Fox, who wasn't Disney at the time, or Sony, who isn't Disney. But he chose to give it to you. And what you did was with it. And the worst part is, people at Disney criticizes the fans who criticizes any of their movies, any of their Disney Star Wars movies. But George Lucas when he was being criticized for the prequels, he took it like a grown up. He didn't call himself the fans any names. He took it. And that's why I respect George Lucas a whole lot more than a lot of the people at Lucasfilms. If George Lucas came today and asked out of the blue, "Hey, do you want to be my friend?" I'll say, "Yeah, sure, whatever, yeah, sure." Oh, I won't say whatever, but I'll say, "Yeah, sure." I mean, George Lucas is one of my heroes. I mean, I wouldn't waste any time saying yes. I probably will say, "Hell yes," and then probably say, "Oh, yeah, sorry about cursing," afterwards, but still, I would say yes. If Ryan Johnson or Kathleen Kennedy asked, "Hey, do you be me, want to be friends?" I would say no. Why would I want to be friends with someone who will criticize, or not criticize, but bash people for criticizing any of your work? Why would I want, like, George Lucas could have said F you to the fans who criticized the prequels, but he didn't. I'm just, like I said, I'm sad that even George Lucas is displeased with how the direction of how Disney has been taking not only Lucasfilms precisely, but of Star Wars. Like, like I said earlier, it's one thing that us fans has been telling you, "Hey, does not exactly feel like Star Wars," or "This movie does not need to be made. We want this movie, not exactly this movie." And I'm kind of referencing Solo a bit, because we did not want a Solo story, a Han Solo movie, even though it was a pretty decent movie. It wasn't the best Star Wars movie. It wasn't exactly the worst either. But outside of the fact that it came out like about what 5 months after the Last Jedi, who a lot of fans were extremely upset about, and it wasn't exactly the film itself at the time so much as it was like the first 3 months. It was because how people decided at Lucasfilms react to the fans who criticized The Last Jedi. But outside of that, the reason why Solo Sorry failed, in my opinion, is because nobody wanted a Han Solo spin-off or origin story, especially without Harrison Ford in it. I feel like you could have like CGI'd where you can make it look like young Harrison Ford, the one we got in like Attack of New Hope, sorry, and probably like get Harrison Ford's comeback as Han Solo. I mean, he still sounds pretty much the same. Just I know you guys at Lucasfilms can de-age your guys' voices. I mean, you put Tarkin, you CGI Tarkin's face and his voice in Rogue One, and towards the end of Rogue One, you CGI young Princess Leia's face from 1977 with her voice. So if you guys can do that, I bet you can do a CGI movie of Han Solo with Harrison Ford in it. And this is only if Solo wasn't made in the way that it was made. I feel like if you said, "Hey, Harrison Ford is going to come back as Han Solo in an animated Han Solo movie or miniseries," a lot of fans would be excited for that because it's Harrison Ford. But I just wish things were different. But like I said, if fans, I'll repeat what I said not so long ago. If fans are telling you, "Hey, this is exactly how Star Wars is," and you're fighting the fans, passing the fans who criticize you, that's a smart way of losing business. In this case, it's a smart way of causing Star Wars to be I died read, I died series, a dead series, then yeah, when I mean dead series, I mean like a movie series or universe that nobody cares about anymore. So one like one part where the fans are sharing their displeasure to you, and to a certain like, and that fact that Lucasfilm is choosing to ignore the fans' complaints about the movie, like why? Besides acknowledging it that they may have screwed up with it, they decided to bash those fans. But like I said, it's one thing that people like fans criticize Star Wars, like the Disney Star Wars or Star Wars in general. But two, if Mark Hamill has been Luke Skywalker for a little bit over 40 years, 42 years to be exact, has any criticisms against how you've been taking Star Wars in any way, whether it's this character or the movie, that should be saying something. And now, it's sad that Mark Hamill views Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi as a totally different character. He even came up with a name, which is Jake Skywalker. But it's something else. Like, it's a totally different level when one of the actors from the movie is agreeing with the fans. That's like boost your audience's credibility or what your audience says from like about here to here at the very least to where my mouth is. But if the creator of the company that you have recently obtained not so long ago and who dislikes what you're doing with a product that he created, and that raises the bar from here to up here, and you can't even see the bar, like cause it goes off camera. Like that's the credibility bar of the fans up here, like so high that that should be saying something. If Mark Hamill speaking out did not say anything to you guys, which should have, then George Lucas saying something about his displeasures of how you've been treating Star Wars and Lucasfilms, but mainly Star Wars in this case, should be clicking into your guys' mind saying, hey, we fucked up, we need to rethink how we've been doing things. But I'm frustrated that George Lucas is frustrated how Disney decided to take his creation. And it's not directed towards George Lucas with my frustration. It's more so directed towards like Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney. It's, that's where my frustration lies. So I just want to make this video because, like I said, I made this video on my own channel. I figured this warranted a conversation on this channel as well. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about the whole George Lucas feeling betrayed and upset on how people at Lucasfilms or Disney Lucasfilms is handling Star Wars? Let me know in the comment below. May the Force be with us all.